Friday's second video for you is firstly Ethiopian PM Abiy just a few minutes ago arrived in SNNPR, Southern Nations, Nationalities and Peoples region. He is in Wolaita, Sodo. What is he doing there? Second story is about Oromo leader Bekele Gerba, who has been in the US for the last 10 days. Yesterday, we reported about one of his meeting with Heritage Foundation in the US. Reportedly, he has held some other meetings as well with US government officials. A third news story is about an Ethiopian journalist who has been released. Fourthly, an Ethiopian businessman who joined EZEMA party, I think around a year ago, has decided to say goodbye to EZEMA party. He has leveled some allegations as well against Wellega's EZEMA party. Fifthly, West Wellega, what is happening there? We have some updates. It seems that OLA is sweeping across West Wellega. We know that Oromo Liberation Army launched a new offensive in Western Oromia, West Wellega, Kalam Wellega. What is the situation on the ground? How are government officials seeing this new offensive from OLA? And are these government officials being paid or not? Because OLA seems to be in charge in several parts of West Wellega. Lastly was Tigray. While Tigray government says it's ready to send a high-level delegation to participate in talks with Ethiopian government in Nairobi, Kenya, what are the views of the people in Tigray and those who are critical of Tigray government in Tigray? What are they saying? Are they willing? Are they in support of government's decision to start talks with Ethiopian government? We have some observations shared by some activists, pro-Tigray activists. What do they say about talks between Tigray and Ethiopian government? Firstly, viewers, Ethiopian PM Abiy yesterday addressed a gathering of police officers. You can see some picture on your screen. There he acknowledged the role played by police in the fight against Tigray People Liberation Front last year. Secondly, he pressed for reforms. And thirdly, he urged police officials to take action against contraband and other illegal activities. And today, just a few minutes ago, he landed in SNNPR, Southern Nation, Nationalities and Peoples region. He is accompanied by Minister of Labour and Skill, Mufrihat Kamil. He was welcomed by Aristo Girdao, SNNPR's head, and there he is visiting construction site of Wolaita Sodo airport. An airport is under construction there, and he visited this site. He is focused on development and on security sector as well. Almost on weekly basis, we see him attend some ceremony with participation of forces, regional forces, federal forces, ENDF police. Yes, security sector is priority of PM Abiy because he knows that regional forces, federal forces rescued his government when Tigray Defense Force was threatening to Addis Ababa last year. I personally think that yes, development matters, security sector should not be neglected too, but conflict resolution is the most important area which requires attention. Conflicts, whether regional, whether ethnic, religious, Tigray, whatever the conflicts are, whatever the dimensions are. First priority of the government should be conflict resolution. Believe me, if there are conflicts, all this development, all these security forces, they cannot do anything. They'll keep on fighting the people. People will keep on fighting among themselves. So what is required is that the government should be proactive in resolving disputes between regions, between groups, between factions in Ethiopia. Peaceful environment is the first thing before the start of development, before the start of peaceful economic activity in Ethiopia. Second news story is about Oromo leader Bekele Gerba, vice chairman of Oromo Federalist Congress. More than 10 days ago, he departed Ethiopia. He is in the US. There he has held some important meetings. Yesterday, I reported about his meeting with Heritage Foundation, a foundation which has a say in US foreign policy. And there he held a meeting, but he has held some meeting with other departments as well. He has been seen with State Department officials too. It has been confirmed that Bekele Gerba has held some meetings with US State Department officials. Thirdly, he was seen in the company of US senators, and fourthly, he was seen with members of US House. So it's very much clear that Jawar and Bekele Gerba trip is not just to engage Ethiopian Oromo diaspora, but one of the main purpose is to engage US government, to brief the US government about Ethiopian internal conflicts. And we know that OFC's position is very clear. It has rejected national dialogue. It wants restructuring of National Dialogue Commission. It wants participation of all groups, all parties in the dialogue, and it wants international oversight as well. Now, Bekele Gerba is sharing his concerns, his views about Ethiopian dialogue as well with US government. So, Bekele Jawar's trip could play a role in briefing the US government about the need to change the ongoing national dialogue which Ethiopian government is presenting to the international community as an achievement. But now Bekele and Jawar are sharing their views with the US government that this dialogue commission needs restructuring. It's not going to deliver. Thirdly, an Ethiopian journalist has been released at last. Solomon Shumye, a YouTube channel owner who is seen as a balanced journalist. He was put in prison last month. Then we saw that Federal First Instance Court granted him bail rather, but he was not released. Police filed an appeal against his bail order, and the bail order was revoked by a higher court. But today, Ethiopian Supreme Court granted him bail. Solomon Shumye has been granted bail for 10,000 Ethiopian birrs, and reportedly he has been released from prison. But Tamasgan Dasalin is still in prison. Mirza Muhammad has not been released as well. At least Solomon Shumye is out of prison. We have confirmed he's out of prison. He has been reunited with his family. Fourthly, viewers, an EZEMA party member leader has resigned from party membership. He is a well-known Ethiopian businessman. His name is Kebour Gena. He joined the party more than a year ago. He headed Pan-African Chamber of Commerce as well, executive director of Pan-African Chamber of Commerce. And he announced to run for Addis Ababa mayor as well more than a year ago. Then he joined EZEMA. But a few hours ago, he announced his resignation. He says that this party, EZEMA party, Wellega, is siding with government. It is a B party of the government. It is towing in the line of the government. It is in alliance with the government. It's on the wrong side of the history. That is why he has said goodbye to EZEMA party. We know that in the party, internal election is going to be held in coming days. Professor Wellega is being challenged by Endualam Arage. Both have started their campaign for the new leadership of the party in coming days. The party will hold General Assembly, and Endualam Arage is challenging Professor Wellega. Who will be the new leader of the party? That remains to be seen. But before party elections, Kebour Gena has resigned from party's membership. He is no more member of EZEMA party. Fourthly, viewers, OLA's new offensive in Western Oromia. West Wellega is the zone where OLA is making gains. Here it seems OLA is sweeping across this zone, and we managed to get in touch with some government officials. They say that since April they have not been paid any salaries. Government is accusing them of supporting Oromo Liberation Army, and government accuses them that they have not done enough to stop OLA, stop Shumye they call it. So that is why they are unpaid since April. So they are now either joining OLA or they don't know what to do because they are unpaid, and communication is cut off between some regions and federal government as well, some districts and regional government, not federal government. That is why there is chaos in Wellega. Government machinery has become paralyzed. They don't know what to do, where to get instructions from. And OLA is exploiting the situation. OLA is sweeping across West Wellega. OLA entered Gimbi a few hours ago. OLA was seen in South West Shava as well, in Central Oromia. So it seems that government machinery has been paralyzed, and in Western in West Wellega and in Kalam Wellega, in Dembidolo, we saw OLA 2 days ago. We're seeing that OLA is making very considerable progress in terms of taking control of towns, while the government says that OLA is finished. But this new offensive shows that in Western Oromia, OLA is still a force to reckon with. Western Oromia, Wellega has long been OLA's stronghold, and this new offensive has once again proven that Wellega is still OLA's stronghold. Kalam, West, and now when OLA is making territorial gains, we are not seeing government forces, regional forces launch a counter-offensive to stop OLA. Maybe in coming days we could see a new counter-offensive. Otherwise, OLA is sweeping across West and Kalam Wellega. Lastly was Tigray. We know Tigray government showed its willingness to be part of talks in Nairobi, Kenya, but dissenting voices are being heard in Tigray. Tigray activists, people of Tigray, they are questioning Tigray government's announcement to be part of talks. What are they saying? Firstly, they say that Tigray does not have time. People are dying. And for the past 2 months, government has been announcing ceasefire, talks, but practically on the ground, just a few dozen or a few hundred trucks have arrived in Tigray, which are insufficient, and people in Tigray are dying. And government is buying time. It's keeping Tigray under pressure. Ethiopian federal government is making military preparations, recruitments, purchase of new weapons. Tigray government is not doing enough. While it's becoming part of talks, can it give a time frame? how long will these talks be held? And if the talks go on for months, what will happen in Tigray where people are dying? And secondly, they say that Tigray government should not be part of talks before the resumption of basic services in Tigray, like electricity in all parts of Tigray, banking service, communication services. These services must be restored before the start of talks. These services should not be part of any negotiations. If the services become part of negotiations, it means that it will take weeks or months for the resumption of these services in Tigray. So that is why people, they have reservations against Tigray government's announcement to be part of talks. And secondly, they say referendum. That if Tigray holds a referendum, will international community and Ethiopian government will they accept the results of the referendum? And Tigray must ensure that international community agrees to referendum as well. Because international community speaks about Ethiopian territorial sovereignty. So they fear that Tigray could lose the right to hold referendum in these talks. Because we know that Tigrayan diaspora and Tigrayan opposition parties, they're in support of secession. They want independent Tigray. And they fear that the talks could lead to a blow to Tigray's, people of Tigray's desire for independence. That is why there is mixed reaction in Tigray regarding the announcement by Tigray government to be part of talks. But they say that talks or progress is very slow. People are dying. Tigray government should ensure that the talks, if the talks are held, are concluded fast. Otherwise, people of Tigray will keep on suffering. Thank you for watching.